Hi, and welcome back to the Health and Wellness in Bayonne show. I'm your host, Dr. Mike Acanfora. Today I have with me holistic nutritionist Felecia Bell-Rutkowski. Hi, Felecia, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's great to have you here. So my first question is what we ask all our guests, is tell us about your journey. How did you become a holistic nutritionist?
Well, my journey started many years ago when I was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, also known as IBS. And I wasn't getting helped through the regular allopathic model, and I had bad reactions to drugs. And that experience kind of thrust me into wanting to find out what was really going on with my body and how I could be helped.
Sure. Did you see a holistic nutritionist at that point?
I did. I actually was working with a nutritionist soon after that because I found that the source of my problems were nutritional.
Wow, that's fascinating. So you actually got to the root cause of the problem.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
wonderful. I mean, and how long ago was that?
This is over 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, over 20 years ago.
That's remarkable. So if you had stayed on that allopathic model, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation.
No, yeah.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about what a holistic nutritionist does. Like, what is it that you do exactly as a holistic nutritionist?
Well, I use food to repair and restore function to the body, identify nutrient deficiencies that are causing stress
Wonderful.
in the body.
Wow, that's remarkable. Is there a particular, when we say holistic nutrition, did you get a degree in holistic nutrition? What is it? How does one become a holistic nutritionist?
Well, I originally have a degree in fine arts. I went to Carnegie Mellon University and Point Park University.
Sure.
But I went back to school and got a master in science from Clayton College of Natural Health.
Oh, that's a wonderful school. That's fantastic. When did you get your master's degree? That was pretty recent, right?
2000, well, I completed my studies in 2010.
Okay, that's wonderful. I remember you going through that,
Yeah.
and it was a very exciting time. Stressful too, but very exciting. So tell me what in your experience, what you've seen in your clinical practice, in your clinical experience.
Well, I've seen everything from minor digestive imbalances to cancers. And what I've seen reversed, 74-year-old woman diagnosed with the beginning stages of pancreatic cancer came to me. She had never taken a supplement in her life. And we were able to reverse this pathology, which was remarkable because she would go back to her doctor every couple of weeks, and he said, I don't know what you're doing, but continue to do it because I'm seeing a decrease in what was identified.
Wow. And there's also, because we share a couple of clients, the lady that had cholesterol issues and issues with blood pressure, you see that, I mean, I would assume quite frequently. And really the food helps to heal.
I can talk for years about food.
Yep.
Because it's not just what we eat, but how we eat,
Sure.
when we eat, the amount of foods that we eat,
Sure.
the combinations of foods that we eat. And you put all of those things together, for the most part, we have a lot of problems with food in our culture.
Okay, fascinating. So tell me about the particular way that you use your art and skill in your clinical practice.
I use three modalities. One is called heart rate variability, which is a non-invasive quantitative assessment of the autonomic nervous system.
Sure.
And it's a great tool for wellness assessment.
Sure.
I use a modality called nutrition response testing,
Okay.
which is remarkably precise method for
Fascinating.
using the body's own neurological reflexes and acupuncture points to identify weakness in organs caused by foods,
Sure.
immune-related changes in tissue,
Sure.
toxic chemicals, and heavy metals.
Wow. What was the third one? You said there was nutrition response testing. There was
And body systems analysis,
Body
and that's an analysis based on what you've observed personally
Okay.
Regarding your condition.
Wow. That's fascinating. So let's dive a little deeper into this. Can you talk to the viewers about the heart rate variability?
Okay. Heart rate variability enables me to see quickly where the stress is in the nervous system. Is it primarily sympathetic stress? And that's just a fancy term, which means that the fight or flight mechanism, that body's ability to get up and go,
Sure.
is that where the stress is occurring in the physical body? Or is it digestive, which is a function of parasympathetic tone in the body?
Sure.
So I quickly am able to identify where is the stress in this body. I can also see, is this body blocked neurologically? Meaning, are they stuck in some tone
Sure.
of either sympathetic or parasympathetic tone in the body that is, which is preventing them from healing.
Wow, that's fascinating. We use heart rate variability also in our chiropractic practice, and when I explain it to our patients, what we explain it as, sympathetic is for those of us who've grown up here and lived here most of our lives, where we go out in the morning, take a deep breath and say, God, it's great to be alive. The reality is we're running out the door because we're late and we've got to stop and get a coffee, and it's just, it's a very stressful environment to live here.
Absolutely.
Where the parasympathetic, on the other hand, is where it's how most people feel most of the time after Thanksgiving dinner. They're just sitting on the couch, relaxing, probably watching a football game, and not getting really excited about it. So you can see where the brilliance of the work that you're doing is by supplementation and by identifying the stresses helps to unblock them and allows the body to get healthy. That's fascinating.
Yeah. One of the things that we also do in identifying what's gotten into the cell that has not come out, that is affecting the cell's ability to perform its function.
Such as?
A toxic chemical.
Okay.
You can have residue from food additives that are affecting neurological responses in the body.
Wow. Like food dyes and
food dyes, colors, artificial flavoring.
Okay. Wow. That's scary stuff.
Yeah.
And
formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde. Where do you see formaldehyde in?
You see formaldehyde in new carpets. It was used to embalm. I'm sure it's still used to embalm. There's an interesting story that many years ago, I think that this was on the battlefield in Vietnam. They were able to identify American soldiers because they didn't decompose as fast as other soldiers.
Okay.
And it was the apparent buildup of formaldehyde that was in the body.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you find formaldehyde in certain shampoos.
That's scary.
Personal
care products.
Yeah.
That's frightening. Talk to me a little bit about nutrition response testing.
Nutrition response testing is a way of accessing the dermatomes on the surface of the body to assess what's happening in organs or glandular systems underneath. It's a tool that we use to assess health.
Oh, that's fascinating. What I have seen in how you practice is you are very, very in tune with the body. Your clinical skill, your clinical skill matches the art of what you do like nobody I've met before, and that's brilliant. And that's why I believe that you get the results that you get with people. That people come to see you that are very, very ill. We're not talking that they're running around with sniffles. These are people that are very ill, and you're able to actually get them well. And that's remarkable in today's day and age because there's a lot of sick people out there and they're not getting well. If anything, they're getting sicker. Tell me a little bit about how you came back to being in Bayonne.
Well, in 2004, 10 people close to me passed away over the course of a year.
Wow.
And and it made me just ask deeper questions about why I'm here, what I'm contributing,
Sure.
What's this all about,
Yep.
and that brought me back to Bayonne, and for me personally, my relationship with God, I started asking God questions about purpose, deeper purpose.
Sure.
And it led me to enrolling in school, going back to college, getting a degree, and accepting this assignment to empower people
Sure.
to walk in health, because people don't have to be sick. Now, and that's a kind of inflammatory statement.
Yes.
Because a lot of people think that sickness is something they don't have control over.
That's very true. That's very true. And you have found that by providing them with a healthier environment, by helping them to make better choices with their lifestyle, with their diet, we don't like to use the word diet, but that truly miracles happen.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We, through nutrition response testing, it's a true breakthrough in our ability to identify what's making us sick, to address it, and to reverse the processes that actually create an environment for disease to start.
Wow.
So I absolutely believe it is healthcare in the future.
Wonderful.
Because it's true health care.
Correct. It's not disease care,
It's
which
not
is what
disease
we're
care.
used to.
Exactly.
It is true health care. And the empowering part, as we in our chiropractic office, our mission is to educate, empower, inspire our community, allowing for the active unfoldment of human potential. That is brilliant. That empowers people. That is what we strive to do, not just, as the story goes, not just to give you a fish dinner, but to give you a fishing pole so that you can go forward in life and make better choices.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing exactly on the nutritional level and the lifestyle level to help people live to their potential, to their best life possible.
Absolutely.
That's fascinating. Tell us a little bit more, like when you have a client and they come in to see you, what you're taking an intake form where you go through a review of systems, did you call it?
Well, we do an analysis, and based on what we find in the analysis, we determine what's the best, how we can best start a program
Sure.
to get the person back on a health,
Sure.
getting them back in a mode of healing, as
Okay.
opposed to the path that they're on right now currently, one that they're, because I'm speaking for the most part, the people that come to see me,
Yes.
where they get sicker and need more medication, and are increasing their toxic load as the years go on. So this is the process of step by step, and we use designed clinical nutrition. It's not a one-stop shop.
Sure.
We do the same thing for everyone.
Right.
It's uniquely designed to fit your individual biochemistry.
That's fascinating. Talk to me a little bit about you use supplements in your practice?
Yes, I do.
Talk to me a little bit about the supplementation aspect of this.
I use professional supplement companies, Standard Process, Marco Pharma, Systemic Formulas, to name a few, Energetics.
Yep.
These are not over-the-counter vitamin supplements.
Okay.
They're whole food primarily, or standardized extracts and herbs.
Right.
They have to be tested on the body.
Okay.
They're specifically targeted. And the thing that I like about them is that they work.
Right.
It's not hit and miss. It's not, oh, let me try this and see if it's going to work.
Right.
We understand how they work in the body.
Sure. It's fascinating. So Standard Process, they're using whole foods to make their supplements. So if it's magnesium, it comes from a whole food source. If it is, you name it, it's coming from a whole food. It's not made in a lab, essentially.
It's not made in a lab.
Wow.
It's not synthetic. And I think that distinction is something that people don't really fully understand. Like, for example, a synthetic vitamin E is not absorbed by the body. We see the D-alpha tocopherol
Sure.
is the standardized. That's how vitamin E is marketed.
Okay.
But if it's a DL alpha tocopherol, then it's a synthetic form, and the body doesn't know what to do with it, and it just produces excess waste and effort for the body to eliminate.
Wow. Is that kind of like also with D2 and D3, vitamin D2? Is that synthetic, or it's just the inert form of vitamin D?
I know that D3 is the active form.
D is the active form.
Yeah.
So Standard Process is one of them, and then you said the other one was
Marco Pharma.
Yep. And then the last one was
Systemic Formulas.
Systemic Formulas. And each program that you design is based on what you find for that unique individual. So even if they had a twin sister or a twin brother, they may be completely different formulas.
Exactly. I can have 3 people who have been diagnosed by their doctor with diabetes come in to see me, but their unique biochemistry will indicate what supplements they'll test for. But it's not just supplements.
Right.
We really teach people how to eat and what is food for them, what foods are compatible with their physiology, and what foods they should possibly eliminate forever, stay away from for a period of time while their body is detoxifying and cleansing.
Right. So that supplementation is just part of what you do.
It's just part of it.
It's really teaching the person
Absolutely.
how to eat healthier.
Absolutely.
And I suppose it's not the standard American diet.
It's not the standard American diet.
Otherwise known as SAD.
Yeah, the SAD diet. I don't think the standard American diet is one that there are no vegetables. A fried potato is a vegetable in the standard American diet. And foods are primarily, especially proteins, batter dipped and deep fried.
That's not good for you?
No.
Other questions that I have that are popping into my head. Tell our viewers where your practice is now and how you came to practice where you practice.
Well, my practice is located in Bayonne, 734 Broadway in Bayonne. And I came to practice the day that I walked into your office seeking office space because I had outgrown the space that I was currently in, and I was looking to expand, and I found my new home at 734 Broadway.
And Bayonne is all the healthier for it. I mean, the couple years that you've been with us, we've seen remarkable things that you've done for your clients. And the funny thing is, there are times when you have the answer for a person, and they just don't want to hear it yet. And that's the balance of life, and that's the art of what you do. I think most of the times for most people, once you get them to turn the corner, they're all in. But it's not until they actually get that corner turned. And it's like, well, I don't know, it feels like it's working, it could be working, and then all of a sudden it happens and they're a completely different person, or the person they were 20 years ago.
Well, I think it has to do with where they're at when they come in the door.
Sure.
Because we expect people to be at a certain level.
Sure.
Oftentimes, they're not at that balanced level. They're below there, and you've got to get them up to that place where they can begin to heal. And that process of getting them up to the place where healing can become a reality for them takes time. And it takes some re-education of faulty concepts with regard to food.
Sure.
And when you're dealing with food, you're also dealing with family traditions.
Wow.
Historical, historical identification with food.
Sure.
Emotional connections.
Sure.
Psychological connections. It's not just, don't eat this. This is bad for you, and eat this.
Sure.
That has to happen at a gradient, and we apply those gradients individually to each client.
Fascinating. Some of those misconceptions that you're speaking of, talk about some of those where, what are we talking about? What is good for you? What is not good for you? What is healthy? What is not healthy? Talk about a couple of them that come to mind.
Well, milk. Milk comes to mind because we consume a lot of pasteurized milk, and in our culture, and we were taught from that having pasteurized milk is healthy for you.
Okay.
But a lot of people can't break down the milk once it's been pasteurized, because once it's been heated, it no longer has the enzymes in it that make it easy to digest.
Right.
And it's creating a lot of inflammatory waste in the body.
Sure.
That people aren't quite sure, well, why am I experiencing such excessive mucus, or just to use as an example.
Wow. And these enzymes that you're talking about, there's a doctor in New York, Nicholas Gonzalez, who has been studied by the National Institute of Health on enzyme. He uses enzyme therapy in his practice, as you do, and has gotten remarkable results with cancer patients. He takes care of the terminal patients that have, there's nowhere else to go, and gets them well just by what you're doing as well, the nutrition and enzymes, and it's remarkable.
Yeah, because the thing that people need to understand about enzymes, they're like spark plugs that cause a reaction. They enable certain processes to take place in the body.
Sure.
They are naturally occurring in raw foods.
There we go.
And not that I'm a proponent of eating a 100% raw food diet, but that's where you're going to get the bulk of your active enzymes.
Sure. So obviously cooking kills the enzymes.
Yeah.
So they're not helpful in cooking. That's why the raw food should be some part of the component of a
Absolutely.
lifestyle.
Balance.
Absolutely.
Because you can't eat steak raw. You can, steak tartare, but you can't do that every day.
Right.
So you're going to be cooking certain food choices.
Sure.
And you want to, and there's a way of addressing how to balance out the cooked foods with the raw foods, so that you're getting everything that the body needs, because the body needs a variety of nutrients.
And what you spoke about before is the combination of foods and helping the synergy that occurs in food combining is very, very important.
Yeah, because one of the things that people, they'll fixate on one food that they love, and oftentimes it's a sugary food.
Right.
And they'll eat that food and they'll tip the scale over where the body's tolerance of it and ability to actually assimilate it is diminished.
It's fascinating that you said that. My wife has been eating a ketogenic diet for some time because of her previous issues with cancer. And the one sacred cow that she was not willing to give up was caffeine. And finally, after much goading on my part, she gave caffeine up, and now there's no crashes. There's no that roller coaster that people ride. Like have to get up and have my coffee, and at 10 o'clock have to have another one, and then at 2 she doesn't have any of that anymore. So it's really looking at what's important, and it's remarkable that you do this work every day, and you like myself get to help people. It's a remarkable thing that you're doing.
Thank you.
All right. So let's tie this all up.
Okay.
Tell people how they can get in touch with you, and what's the best way. Give them your information, Facebook, if they would like to consult with you. What they would need to do.
A consultation takes about an hour and 15 minutes, and they would just call the office at 201-858-0444. They can speak with my assistant, Judy. She'll be happy to answer any questions and schedule an initial consultation visit.
Is there a website that they could find you on?
Yes. The website, again, is www.walkinhealth.net.
Fantastic. So I'd like to thank you so much for being on. This time flew by. I would love to have you on again. The work that you're doing is truly life-saving, and the community, the Bayonne community, is grateful for that. It's brilliant work. It's state-of-the-art. It is the state of healthcare as we see it in the future. So I am Dr. Mike Acanfora. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Be well.